Hi, Micheline.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Okay, Sue.
So this is chapter 7, text 5. Aparyam itasthanyam prikram vidi mi param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam darate yagat. Besides this inferior nature, O mighty Arjuna, there is a superior energy of mine, which all living entities who are struggling with material nature and are sustaining the universe. Here it is clearly mentioned that living entities belong to the superior nature or energy of the Supreme Lord. The inferior energy is matter manifested in different elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Both forms of material nature, namely gross, earth, etc., and subtle, mind, and so on, are products of the inferior energy. The living entities who are exploiting those inferior energies for different purposes are the superior energy of the Supreme Lord, and it is due to this energy that the entire material world functions. The cosmic manifestation has no power to act unless it is moved by the superior energy, the living entity. Energies are always controlled by the energetic, and therefore living entities are always controlled by the Lord. They have, pardon me, they have no independent existence. They are never equally powerful, as unintelligent men think. The distinction between living entities and the Lord is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam as follows. Aparimita Dhruvas Tanu Brutu Yadi Sarva Gatas Tarhim Na Sayatiti Niyamo Dhrutu Netarata Ajani Shayamanam Tad Avimuk Niyarmtam Bhavat Saman Anujantam Yad Amatam Maradust Tatya. O Supreme Eternal, if the embodied living entities were eternal and all-pervading like you, then they would not be under your control. But if the living entities are accepted as minute energies of your lordship, then they are at once subject to your supreme control. Therefore, real liberation entails surrender by the living entities to your control, and that surrender will make them happy. In that constitutional position only can they be controllers. Therefore, men with limited knowledge who advocate the monistic theory that God and the living entities are equal in all respects are actually misleading themselves and others. The Supreme Lord Krishna is the only controller, and all living entities are controlled by him. These living entities are his superior energy because the quality of their existence is one and the same with the Supreme. But they are never equal to the Lord in quantity of power. While exploiting the gross and subtle inferior energy, matter, the superior energy, the living entity, forgets his real spiritual mind and intelligence. This forgetfulness is due to the influence of matter upon the living entity. But when the living entity becomes free from the influence of the illusory material energy, he attains the stage called mukti, or liberation. The false ego, under the influence of material illusions, thinks thinks, I am matter and material acquisitions are mine. His actual position is realized when he is liberated from all material ideas, including the conception of his becoming one in all respects with God. Therefore, one may conclude that the Gita confirms the living entity to be only one of multi-energies of Krishna. And when this energy is freed from material contamination, it becomes fully Krishna conscious or liberated. Text 6. Etad yonini bhutani sarvaniti upanhara aham krishnasya yagata prabhava pralasis tata. Of all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world, know for certain that I am both its origin and dissolution. Everything that exists is a product of matter and spirit. Spirit is the basic field of creation, and matter is created by spirit. Spirit is not created at a certain stage of material development. Rather, this material world is manifested only on the basis of spiritual energy. This material body is developed because spirit is present within matter. A child grows gradually to boyhood and then to manhood because of that superior energy, spirit soul, being present. Similarly, this entire cosmic manifestation of the gigantic universe is developed because of the presence of the supersoul, Vishnu. Therefore, spirit and matter, which combine together to manifest this gigantic universal form, are originally two energies of the Lord, and consequently, the Lord is the original cause of everything. A fragmental part and parcel of the Lord, namely the living entity, may, by manipulation of material energy, construct a skyscraper, factory, or city, but he cannot create matter out of nothing, and he certainly cannot construct a planet or a universe. The cause of the universe is the supersoul, Krishna, the supreme creator of all individual souls and the original cause of all causes, as the Katha Upanishad confirms. Nityo nityam setanas setanam. Text 7. Mata parataram nanya kinsid asti dan ayana mai sarvam idam protam sutra manigana eva. O conqueror of wealth, Arjuna, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung upon a thread. There is a common controversy over whether the superior absolute truth is personal or impersonal. As far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned, the absolute truth is the personality of the Godhead, Sri Krishna, and this is confirmed in every step. In this verse in particular, it is stressed that the absolute truth is a person, that the personality of Godhead is the supreme absolute truth, is also the affirmation of the Brahma Samhita. Isvara Parama Krishna Saksid Ananda Vigraha. That is, the supreme absolute truth personality of Godhead is Lord Krishna, who is the primeval Lord, the reservoir of all pleasure, Govinda, and the eternal form of complete bliss and knowledge. These authorities leave no doubt that the absolute truth is a supreme person, the cause of all causes. The impersonalist, however, argues on the strength of the Vedic version given in that Svitasvatara Upanishad, Tato Yad Uttarataram Tad Arupam Anamayam Ya Itad Vidur Amatas Te Vivanti Atetare Dukam Ivapi Yante. In the material world, Brahma, the primeval living entity within the universe, is understood to be the supreme among the demigods, human beings, and lower animals. But beyond Brahma, there is Transcendence, who has no material form and is free from all material contaminations. Anyone who could know him also becomes transcendental, but those who do not know him suffer the miseries of the material world. The imperialist puts more stress on the word arupam, but this arupam is not impersonal. It indicates the transcendental form of eternity, bliss, and knowledge as described in the Brahma Samhita quoted above. Other verses of the Svitasvatara Upanishad substantiate this as follows. Vidam etam purusham maha antam aditya varnam tamasha paraschat tam eva vidvan amrat eva iha bhavati nanyam pata vidyate ayana yasmat param naparam asti kinshid yasmananyo na Yoshti Sinchet. I know that supreme I know that supreme personality of Godhead, who is transcendental to all material conceptions of darkness. Only he knows him can transcend the bonds of birth and death. There is no way for liberation other than this knowledge of the supreme person. There is no truth superior to that supreme person because he is the supermost. He is smaller than the smallest. He is greater than the greatest. He is situated as a silent tree, and he illumes the transcendental sky as a tree spreads its roots. He spreads his extensive energies. From these verses, one concludes that the supreme absolute truth is the supreme personality of Godhead, who is all pervading by his multi energies, both material and spiritual. Text 8. Rasoham apsu kunteya prabhasmi susi saraya pranava sarva vedesu sabda ke paru sam nurus. Translation. O son of Kunti, Arjuna, I am the taste of water, the light of the sun and the moon, the syllable in the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in ether and ability in man. This verse explains how the Lord is all pervasive by his diverse material and spiritual energies. The Supreme Lord can be primarily perceived by his different energies, and in this way he is realized impersonally. As the demigod in the sun is a person and is perceived by his all-pervading energy, the sunshine, similarly, the Lord, although in his external abode, is perceived by his all-pervading diffusive energies. The taste of water is the active principle of water. No one likes to drink seawater because the pure taste of water is mixed with salt. Attraction for water depends on the purity of the taste, and this pure taste is one of the energies of the Lord. The impersonalist perceives the presence of the Lord in water by its taste, and the personalist also glorifies the Lord for his kindly supplying water to quench man's thirst. That is the way of perceiving the supreme. Practically speaking, there's no conflict between personalism and impersonalism. One who knows God knows that the impersonal conception and personal conception are simultaneously present in everything, and there's no contradiction. Therefore, Lord Katyana established another supreme. Therefore, Lord Katyana established his sublime doctrine, Adsinta Beda and Abheda Tattvam, simultaneously one and different. The light of the sun and the moon is also originally emanating from the Brahmayati, which is the impersonal effulgence of the Lord. Similarly, pranava, or the Omkara transcendental sound used in the beginning of every Vedic hymn to address the Supreme Lord, also emanates from him. Because the impersonalists are very much afraid of addressing the Supreme Lord Krishna by his innumerable names, they prefer to vibrate the transcendental sound Omkara, but they do not realize that Omkara is the sound representation of Krishna. The jurisdiction of Krishna consciousness extends everywhere, and one who knows Krishna consciousness is blessed. Those who do not know Krishna are in illusion, and so knowledge of Krishna is liberation, and ignorance of him is bondage. Text 9. Punyo Ganda Prithyam Cha Teja Kasmi Vidhava Su Jivanam Sarva Bhutesu Tapas Kasmi Tapas Vishu. I am the original fragrance of the earth, and I am the heat and fire. I am the life of all that lives, and I am the penances of all aesthetics. Punya means that which is not decomposed. Punya is original. Everything in the material world has a certain flavor or fragrance, as the flavor and fragrance in a flower or in the earth, in water, in fire, in air, etc. The uncontaminated flavor, the original flavor which permeates everything, is Krishna. Similarly, everything has a particular original taste, and this taste can be changed by the mixture of chemicals. So everything original has some smell, some fragrance, and some taste. Vidhava means fire. Without fire, we cannot run factories, we cannot cook, and so on. And that fire is Krishna. The heat in the fire is Krishna. According to Vedic medicine, indigestion is due to low temperature in the belly. So even for digestion, fire is needed. In Krishna consciousness, we become aware that earth, water, fire, air, and every active principle, all chemicals and all material elements are due to Krishna. The duration of a man's life is also due to Krishna. Therefore, by the grace of Krishna, man can prolong his life or diminish it. So Krishna consciousness is active in every sphere. Text 10. Bija man sarva bhutanam vidi partha sanatanam buddhir buddhi matam asmi tejavinam aham. O son of Pritha, know that I am the original seed of all existence, the intelligence of the intelligent, and the prowess of all powerful men. Bija means seed. Krishna is the seed of everything. In contact with material nature, the seed fructifies into various living entities, movable and inert. Birds, beasts, men, and many other living creatures are moving, living entities. Trees and plants, however, are inert. They cannot move, but only stand. Every entity is contained within the scope of 8,400,000 species of life. Some of them are moving and some are inert. In all cases, however, the seed of their life is Krishna. As stated in the Vedic literature, Brahman, or the supreme absolute truth, is that from which everything is emanating. Krishna is Para Brahman, the supreme spirit. Brahman is impersonal, and Para Brahman is personal. Impersonal Brahman is situated in the personal aspect. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, originally, Krishna is the source of everything. He is the root. As the root of a tree maintains the whole tree, Krishna, being the original root of all things, maintains everything in this material manifestation. This is also confirmed in the Vedic literature. Yato va emani bhutani yayante. The supreme absolute truth is that from which everything is born. He is the prime eternal among all eternals. He is the supreme living entity of all living entities, and he alone is maintaining all life. Krishna also says that he is the root of all intelligence. Unless a person is intelligent, he cannot understand the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna. Text 11. Palam balavatam kaham kama raga viva jitam Dharma vidru bhuta bhutesu kamos smi varata rabsa. Hmm. I am the strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire. I am sex life, which is not contrary to religious principles, O Lord of the Bharatas, Arjuna. The strong man's strength should be applied to protect the weak, not for personal aggression. Similarly, sex life, according to religious principles, Dharma, should be for the propagation of children, not otherwise. The responsibility of parents is then to make their offspring Krishna conscious. Okay, what do you want to do here? Time-wise.
Yeah, we can pause. That was a lot of reading for you. Thank you.
Yeah,
That was good reading. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it was kind of fun. It reminded me of when I was in high school. I took Latin.
So did
And
I.
I had so much trouble with the pronunciation, and the reality is the pronunciation is exactly as it's written out. And in some ways, this is like that, although obviously not quite, because there you go. But there was some nifty stuff in there.
Yeah.
That I can't get over as we read this stuff how much similarity there is between this and modern physics. It is just so similar, like the whole thing of what, to my mind, what he was really talking about, and of course, this wasn't his perspective, so forgive my arrogance, but what he was really talking about in one of the early sutras had to do with the fact that everything is energy, and matter stems from energy. And if you think about the Big Bang, when there was this infinitesimal, huge, incredibly packed in um, ball of what was essentially energy, and that vavum, you had everything spreading out, etc., and material things started occurring after the Big Bang. So it all stemmed, the way I picture it is this incredibly dense, can't even imagine it, ball of energy, and then material things start evolving. So when he talks about um, everything material comes from energy, and energy is Krishna, I mean, this is like another way of saying it. So there you go. That's my take.
I like that take because I feel like my brain's moving on slow this morning and I keep personalizing Krishna and I keep trying not to because it makes me so angry. But what you just said in that one sentence, Sue, I could feel like I could go put the Gita down and just be like, I understand everything now. Because that was so beautiful. And just thinking about everything as energy and that, yeah, that was really helpful.
It is such a miraculous thing, though, when you think about it. I mean, it is, to me, it's totally and completely miraculous, and really, it's a wonderful thing. And I don't remember when the Gita was written. Does anybody was
I think right before Kali Yuga started.
So that's a long time.
No, you know what? I might be wrong. No, I'm wrong. That's the Vedas. I gotta look it up. I'm definitely wrong.
Oh, you know what? It's in one of these 45 introductions. They tell us. I just don't remember.
Yeah, I have the book in front of me.
Yeah, and
Only 45.
it felt like it when we were going through. But that when you think about when this was written and how closely this parallels some of the stuff that scientists have found in the last century or so, and who knows what people are going to find in the next couple of centuries, and it's just another way of saying it, and it's, to my mind, I mean, the only thing that contradicts what I'm saying is the in the text when they talk about the personalist versus the impersonalist. I mean, clearly, the way I'm viewing it is probably impersonalist. So maybe I have 5,000 more births and deaths to go through. Who knows?
I just looked it up. It says between 400 and 200 BC, if that's right.
It's not
That
so long ago, you know? I mean, so it's like 2,500 years ago max, right?
my brain can't think those numbers this morning. But so I like how you simplified it. I'm like, there you go. Simple stuff.
Also, in some of these sutras, even translated, even the translation, are quite poetic. They're just beautiful. They're a beautiful way to start the day. It makes you want to understand the original language so you can appreciate the original poetry. This, it's quite something.
Yeah. Yeah, Vedic poetry is really beautiful.
Yeah.
I was just saying to myself yesterday, I got to learn Sanskrit because they follow these people on Instagram and they're like, oh, this text does this and this text does that. And I'm always like, do you got the English translation? And they're always like, no, you have to learn Sanskrit.
Oh dear.
So this was nice of Prabhupada to go through and translate all of these texts into English for us.
I'll say, I wonder how difficult it is to learn Sanskrit. I mean, it's in terms of the text is so different. I mean, it reminds me a little bit of Russian,
Oh, yeah.
Like a completely different strain of language. So, and I only know that because one of my sons foolishly, when he was in college, because his first Russian instructor was really hot, decided to major in philosophy and Slavic literature. And it's so difficult. It's so hard.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
No.
All right, let's do some breath, unless anyone else has anything. Let me sit down here. All right, so sitting up nice and tall, taking a few breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Bye, Micheline.
Bye.
And bringing your right hand over to your nose, close off the right nostril with the thumb, inhale through the left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Continuing on a few more rounds on your own breath. Exhale out the left side when you've taken as many rounds as you need to. I'm going to set the timer. You'll join us when you're ready. If there's something else you need between now and meditation, you'll take it. Whether it's breath or movement. Bring your hands to your heart. Namaste.